Hey guys, this is Dr. Mo, and this is the fourth and final video from my class that I'm doing on Space Invaders. This is as far as I'm going to take you guys, and you guys are going to get the rest done. So we do have a working wall there that protects us temporarily. You can see it's starting to break away in pieces there. And then after the third time it's hit, it does go away and it's no longer there for protection. One difference between my game and the real Space Invaders is that our bullets aren't actually are not coded to be able to hit the walls. I think in the real game, if you hit the walls with your bullet, it also disintegrates a bit. Oops, took them out with me. That could be an addition that you guys can add later on. There's going to be lots of additions that you guys can make because this is obviously not finished, and that's the intention, is to give you guys a little bit to work with. Okay, so first thing I want to do is actually just take a look at the wall class. It's pretty similar to bullet and missile and invader. One difference is that we do have some Allegro bitmaps. So I will show you how to load up Allegro bitmaps for your walls, and then you're going to need to go back and do the same thing for your aliens if you'd like them to actually have moving pictures. So make sure that you do include the Allegro library in this header file so you can set up things, Allegro bitmaps to load up later on. We don't have anything that shoots, but we do have a isHit function that's going to let us know whether or not our wall has been hit. Okay, here's our constructor. Remember, constructors are just like initialization functions. Right away, I'm loading these 3 bitmaps. Make sure that you have... I just drew these myself in Paint. I know they're amazing here. It's great. So make sure you actually have files called this inside the proper place up here. The idea is that this is the first picture that's shown, and then this is shown, and then this is shown after it's hit. Okay? The collision function I just stole from the other collision functions, altered a little bit so the numbers fit with the dimensions of the wall. One difference is that you do want to reduce the lives of the wall, because each wall only has 3 lives. It can be hit 3 times. Each time its picture changes a little bit, and then after the 3rd time it is killed, which you can see by the kill function here. Okay, then what happens here is this is the drawing function, and it's going to draw one of those 3 pictures depending on how many lives it has. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the wall function. So let me show you how I set it up inside main here. So I did decide to create these dynamically too. This may or may not work for what you're hoping to do here, because the math might get a little bit hairy here if you want to actually make it look like the real game. They have like these H-shaped walls, and mine are just straight lines, so it's okay to do this. So you might, instead of wanting to create these dynamically with a new operator, you might want to actually hand create them like you did in Breakout, so they're a little easier to place. It's totally up to you how you do that. It's kind of like a coder's preference there. Okay. You don't see a whole lot going on with the wall until the very end of my timer section. What I'm doing here is I'm just checking to see. So this is kind of complicated because there is a nested for loop. So I'm going to walk through each missile, and then each missile is going to check each wall. And just remember, wherever you see iter 3, I'm talking about walls, and wherever you see iter 2, I'm talking about missiles. So what's happening here is we're checking, like, hey, if the wall's alive and the missile's alive, because we don't want to interact unless they're both alive, okay? What we're going to do is we are going to call the wall's isHit function and pass it the X and Y position of the particular missile we're looking at. And we do that for each missile against each wall. So that's a lot of checks, but that's what computers do the best. The is-hit function automatically reduces the lives of the walls. Okay, sorry about that. I actually had to pause it because I realized I had actually forgotten to actually kill the wall after it was, because you can see here we're doing a good job of killing the missile. But what I want to do every game loop is I want to actually, if a wall has run out of life, I want to make sure that it's marked as killed so this function doesn't give you wrong information. Because I think what would have happened before I added these two lines is even if a wall was out of lives, it's still and invisible, therefore it still would have protected the player. Which is not how the game works, obviously. A better name for this function instead of kill actually would be cull. We are culling the dead walls because we're not going to kill the wall unless it's actually out of life. If you take a look here, the first thing the kill function does is it checks if you're out of lives, and it only actually sets the wall as dead if you're out of lives. So this is really culling the dead, the walls that are already dead, not killing live walls. Okay. All right. So, yeah, drawing shouldn't be anything new here. Kind of the same thing, just like the bombs. We're only drawing if they're alive. And it should be ready to go. So my recommendation, this is as far as I'm going to take you guys in my video series on this, because the point is not just to spoon feed this to you. I really want you guys to try to learn a bit of how to do this. What I would love to see you do is I'd love to see more aliens, you know, in the real game. I think there's like 4 or 5 rows of these things. Would love to see pictures uploaded. You can do that the same way that we uploaded pictures for the walls, so that code should be pretty easy to figure out. Obviously things like lives, sound effects, music, score, all that good stuff that we've been doing since Pong, which would be pretty easy to add in there. If you want to add the functionality where our ship's bullets can affect the walls as well, that's probably better for the game, because otherwise that gives the player a little bit of an advantage if you can just stand behind a wall and shoot through the wall without impacting it. Yeah, the little red spaceship, you can add all sorts of stuff. Feel free to make this game yours. You do not have to have it actually stick to look like the real Space Invaders. In fact, it's probably better if you don't, if you want to be creative. Yeah, so best of luck, and let me know if you need any help.